do you think we're getting close to, and I'm not saying this hyperbolically because people are saying it all. Civil War, yeah.
I've said that numerous times. Yeah, I've said that numerous times. I've thought that a long time. I think they're going to push the wrong button pretty soon, or one of these days, and all hell's going to break loose. If it goes the wrong way, and they go after ammunition and guns the way they already have, there's going to be trouble.
We're here for the people. We're ready to take our country back, get rid of the people that shouldn't be in office and put the people in that need to be in.
I think we're doomed. I don't know if it's going to happen.
It's actually really scary. We need to have people stand up and say, hey, enough is enough, and take our country back. And hopefully Trump can get in there and get it done again like he did.
Michael, sure, they're talking to some more Trump supporters out of the Florida rally this time. And the subject of discussion to start us off with, Sharon, is the talk of civil war. We hear about it all the time. In fact, I was surprised at one of those ladies in there that said, I'm afraid of this whole thing happening. While you're surrounded by people who are gun-toting, fingers on the trigger at any moment, and is ready to kill and take out the people that should not be there. So you're afraid for what? The folks that you guys are coming to attack? Because there's this thought process that you're the vicious, violent overtakers of the government, because that's democracy. And then afterwards, these weaklings will be, I guess, exterminated from the earth. What is the plan? I want to discuss between each one of these, Sharon. So this talk of civil war, are you afraid of this? Do you see it coming to fruition? And if it does, how does that even work? I've always asked that question. They just like this as this fantasy, in my opinion.
I think we're already at civil war. We saw installment 1, the first battle was January 6th. Okay, the plotting, the planning was before that. We're already there. And it's interesting because when you hear these people's comments, minus invoking Trump's name, they could be on the other side. We're afraid. Democracy hangs in the balance, whatever. It's crazy talk, but I think we are already not on the brink of it. May not be declared, but we are at war.
Cold civil war? I mean, backing random candidates that are not gonna run for president, but still there's more, because these folks were talking about more on the violence, more on hate speech, since we're talking about how they're talking and what they're concerned about. You may not be surprised to see their thoughts on what hate speech looks and sounds like.
The civil war, they want civil war.
Who's they?
The globalists. Let's go there.
Tucker Carlson was on the other night. He said, in his opinion, there's no such thing as hate speech in America. How do you stand on that?
I believe in hate speech. When you have hate for somebody, I am 100% into hate speech, because it's freedom of speech. You can speak.
Freedom of speech is freedom of speech, no matter what the speech is. It sounds terrible. I mean, you might want to cover your kids' ears, but it's still freedom of speech.
I don't believe there's anything as hate speech. It's all under interpretation.
I think there's free speech. I think hate speech is just a term they dreamed up to keep other people from talking, saying what's on their mind, for the most part.
Weird how this works. Hate speech is just free speech. I guess unless your free speech is, hey, I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm lesbian, I'm gay. Apparently those folks don't have free speech to say who they are and what their lives are, because folks like this who don't think hate speech is a problem can tell someone else who they are, what they believe, and really what their morals are. It's weird how that works. Only one side of this entire argument has the freedom to say things like hateful. But if someone says, hey, you guys that all tried to attack the United States of America on January 6th, and you're now in jail, you should go up for trial. I can't believe we got political prisoners. Well, you guys broke the law. Is that not something that we are gonna abide by in this country? It doesn't matter. They can say the things that then incite them to this kind of violence, and they still don't understand how hate speech then leads to hateful actions, Sharon.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? These guys pivot. It's a constant, you play basketball. It's a constant pivot. It's a constant crossover. AI ain't got nothing on that, okay? It's groupthink. What we believe is right, what you believe needs to be silenced.
Well, they're always definitely looking to do that. We have one more on this hate speech stuff, don't we, guys? Let me know if that's another one. Let's talk. Let them talk more, because maybe they can explain themselves. Maybe I'm being unfair.
If people are trying to destroy other people, you got to stand up. And that's what they say. Anytime you stand up, we're the bad guys because we say, hey, you can't do that. So that's they'll call that hate speech. It's so twisted. It's so soft. It's so, I mean, when Obama was in there, everybody was like, okay, we're more locked down too. When Trump got in, the Patriots felt like we can breathe.
The Patriots. That's just like thug is the term for the N-word. Patriots is the term for cis white Christians in this country, male Christians in this country. That's what that is. We're the Patriots. And therefore, once the Patriots say something, that's the law of the land. I guess that's what the founding fathers put in all those documents, that Patriots is the basis for this. I don't know. It seems pretty clear that there's this division between whether or not someone has the authority to say certain things. And by the way, did you see his description, Sharon, there of what hate speech is? We said you can't do that. That's all you guys are saying.
And we're the bad guy. You could just be the bad guy. You could actually just be the bad guy. You, sir. Yes, you, sir. I mean, this whole thing about how we're so restricted. And when President Obama was in there, everything had to be so buttoned up. You want to talk about hate speech? We're determined to make him a one-term president. Remember when he gave his first, I think it was the first State of the Union, and I think it was Representative Joe Wilson, you lie. I mean, so I don't know what he was watching, but it's an interesting interpretation of events historically.
Well, I mean, we can even expand outside of that. How many times was he called monkeys and apes, and what was said about Michelle Obama, about their children? Yo, I remember when he was running for re-election. This crosses my mind every once in a while, and I'm upset that it gets glossed over. They said, "Don't renege in 2012" was one of their slogans. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think too, as ugly as a lot of this is, I do prefer to hear some of this stuff out loud. Because I do think when it's silent, we almost are lulled to sleep. You forget that it exists and how dangerous it is. I almost want to hear who my neighbors are. I'd rather that than just some kind of silent chat where they're kind of plotting, planning, arming themselves. Go ahead, speak up so we know exactly who you are, where you are, and we can try to figure out what to do about it.
Yeah, I mean, I need confirmation because all of us, we always have a little bit of that sixth sense. We know who the folks are, especially nearby to us that are those types.